I'm Priest and Officer Gabar Math, ISUPK, Connecticut. We are ISUPK, started out of 1 West 125th Street, Harlem, New York, under Commanding General Yohana since 1969. We've been teaching the so-called blacks, so-called Hispanics, so-called Native Indians, their true culture and heritage as it pertains to the Bible, that we are the Israelites as it pertains to the Bible, and our true identity, all right? And since then, we've been also teaching that our oppressor, who is a common oppressor of the earth, is the devil that the Bible speaks of, all right? Just bear with me while I put some things into the chat. Bear with me. And we'll get started shortly. All right. For any questions, comments, as well as counseling, all right, dial, if you're in Connecticut, dial 203-548-0040. That's 203-548-0040. All right. If you have any questions at all right. We have excellent counselors in the ISUPK. If you're going through anything, you don't have to go through it alone. All right. You can always come in here, and brothers here will do their best to help you using the Bible, of course, not using our own worldly knowledge or personal knowledge, but definitely using the Bible as our guideline, which is the way it's supposed to be. All right. Remember to like, share, subscribe, and comment, or comment. All right. Like, share, comment, subscribe. All right. Even if you have something, that's not exactly positive, what I'm saying? Let it be known. Let it be known. All those things will help us spread this truth. All right. Just bear with me again. To the brothers, Yahweh Ba'Hashem Yahushai Barakathum. To the sisters, Yahweh Shamar Alathum Ba'Hashem Yahushai. All right. Just one more minute while I put these things into the Facebook. And we will get started. Remember to sign in. Don't just come in peeking through the window, man. Sign in, all right? If you need a school near you, you're not in Connecticut, isupk.com. Okay, find the school nearest you, isupk.com, and find that school near you. All right? But again, sign in. There's no reason that you can't, and there's no reason why you shouldn't be. Don't just peek through the window. All right. Trooper, if you can give me Psalms 19, I'm sorry, Salaki, 1 John 3 and 9. The water. You can read it when you have it.
Son of a concept. It's the book of 1 John 3, verse 9. Whosoever is born of God doth not commit sin, for his seed remaineth in him. He cannot sin because he is born of God.
Read it one more time for me from the beginning, from the top.
Book of 1 John, chapter 3, verse 9. Whosoever is born of God doth not commit sin. For his
Whosoever is born of God doth not commit sin. Now, today we're going to go over forgiveness. All right. All right. The so-called blacks and Hispanics and Native Indians, the Negro, the Latino, Latina, and the First Nationer, American Indian, Indigenous American, those terms, we have an issue with forgiveness. Many of us have an issue with forgiveness. All right. It's something that eludes us because we are a very egotistical people. We have ego seeping out of our pores, man. And read that one more time from the beginning.
book of 1 John, chapter 3, verse 9. Whosoever is born of God doth not commit sin.
And listen, if we want to be born of God, which we should be as a people in general and as a nation in general, we have to learn to be forgiving of one another, man. Part of the reason why our society, our nation has been torn down is our stiff-necked ability to sin. Okay? Our you're off mute now, sir. Our ability to constantly seek after our own hearts, after our own minds, after our wants, and not necessarily what the Most High wants. Keep reading.
For his seed remaineth in him, and he cannot sin, because he is born of God.
That's right. We have to be born of God. We have to look at God for our guidance, right? Just like Christ did. All right. Christ said, I worship my Father and not me. I'm paraphrasing, right? We have to understand these things, man. We have to do them and not give excuse not to. And again, many of us continuously have excuses why we keep failing in being perfect, why we keep failing in doing what God wants, why we keep failing not only ourselves, but our God, our King, and our nation, because we need to step it up. In order for Christ to come and do what he's going to do as according to the scripture, we have to do our part. All right. Keep reading.
Verse 10. In this, the children of God are manifest.
Mm-hmm.
And
Now, who are the children of God? Trooper Thamar.
I didn't hear you, sir.
Who are the children of God?
Children of God, 12. Israel, sir.
That's right, Israel. But let's give it to him in layman's terms.
The blacks, Latinos, and the Native Americans, sir.
That's right. That's right. Those on the bottom of this society here in America. Those are the children of God. Keep reading.
And the children of the devil, whosoever doeth not righteousness is not of God.
That's right. And listen. Unrighteousness is not forgiving. Righteousness is having that forgiving spirit. Now, I did a five-part teaching on a contrite spirit and what that means, right? A contrite spirit is one that is that feels remorse or guilt for something that they've done, right? Now, the individual who commits this sin towards another brother or sister, the one who trespasses will feel that, right? But the one who gets trespassed against is what we're dealing with now, right? And that one who gets trespassed against, they have to understand that you have to forgive. If that brother's going to feel guilty, right? If that sister's going to feel guilty, feel remorseful, how can that even come about if you haven't forgiven them? Hmm? The two go hand in hand. You're going to create more strife, more problems, more sin if you're not forgiving. Keep going.
Neither he that loveth not his brother.
Keep going.
Verse 11. For this
Mhm.
message heard from the beginning, that we should love one another.
Read that part again
Verse
read
11,
that part again.
for this is the message that ye heard from the beginning,
For this is the message that ye heard from the beginning. Go ahead.
that we should love one another.
Forgiveness is love, man. Forgiveness is love, and love is following the commandments according to God. Love is following the commandments. And forgiveness is love because we are commanded to forgive one another. We're commanded to get along. We're commanded to do it. Keep going.
Verse 12. As Cain, who was of that wicked one, and slew his brother. And wherefore slew he him? Because his own works were evil, and his brother's righteous.
Right. And what did Cain and Abel? I mean, that was a sacrifice, right? A sacrifice of vegetables. You know what I'm saying? He didn't do what he was told, man. And then he didn't feel a contrite spirit. He felt spite. He felt loathing for his brother, man. He felt vengeful. And what did he do, man? He did the most horrible thing you could do, man, to his physical brother at that. You know what I'm saying? Not just a brother from another mother, from his physical brother. He went and took his life. And how disgusting is that? Salakia. Let's get some holler outs here. Trooper Idamoth, Shalom. Y'all Bashim Brakatah. Let's see what else we got here. Yapasha Ra. Yahweh Shemashah, sorry, Yahweh Shemar Bashim Yahushai. All right. Labab and Yemen. Yahweh Shemar Bashim Yahushai. All right. Officer Krayala. Yahweh Shemashah Brakatah. All right. All right. What verse are we at now?
13, sir.
All right, keep going.
Marvel not, my brethren, if the world hate you. We know that we have passed from death unto life, because we love the brethren.
That's right, man. When you hate your brother, you are contributing to death, the continued death of your nation. Let me tell you something. Our oppressors love when we hate each other, love gang violence, love black on black crime. They love the fact that we can't get along. They love when we steal each other's women. They love when our women hate us as men. They love when the men get fed up and leave. They love discord amongst the Israelites because it allows them to stay in power. And we must wrap our minds around these things, man. It will help to break the spell that's on us, right? We have a a stigmatism on us that, and we see through acute eyes. We see through our oppressor's eyes. We look at each other as if we are our oppressor, and we choose to hate rather than to love. You understand? And that's disgusting. And we must stop that, because you are no better than your oppressor if you have your oppressor's mentality, now, because listen, a lot of us want to separate ourselves, right? Somehow, could we separate from how we swag, how we move, how we walk, how we talk? But if you hate your brother, you are no different than your oppressor, man. You will take that man's life and and then put a reason behind it. You know what I'm saying? You will scoff and talk shit behind that man's back and make reason for it. But you can't do that. You have to stop that, and you have to be better than that. And you have to understand that when you do it, you're sinning. Okay? Keep going. We're gonna read down to 18.
Son of a con, sir. He, not his brother, abideth in death. Whosoever hateth his brother is a murderer.
Is a what?
A murderer.
Uh-huh.
And ye know that no murderer hath eternal life abiding in him.
That's right, man. If you hate your brother, you're no different than a murderer, man. You're no different than a liar, man. And you will deserve death. You will deserve death. Give me 1 John 4 and 20.
Kind of a con, sir.
1 John chapter 4 and verse 20.
This is the book of John, 1 John. Salakia, sir. Chapter 4, verse 20. If a man,
Salakia. Oh, sheesh. Let's start at 1. Salakia. Let's start at 1, because all this is pertinent.
okay. It's the book of 1 John, chapter 4, verse 1.
Mm-hmm.
Beloved, believe not every spirit, but try the spirits whether they are of God. Because many false prophets are gone out into the world.
Right. Beloved, believe not every spirit, but try the spirit, whether they are of God. Now, what does that mean? Does that mean that you're going to test everybody around you? Because let me tell you something. Talking to someone is a form of testing, and not doing it in a deceitful way where you're going to, where it's going to be obvious what you're doing, because that would be unbrotherly in a way, right? But to just talk to someone and pay attention. Just talk to someone and be aware, be alert as to how they're reacting to you, talking to you, dealing with you. All right? Don't just trust right away. Keep going.
Verse 2. Hereby know ye the Spirit of God.
Now that Spirit of God is what we're going to discuss here in these scriptures. Go ahead.
Every spirit that confesses that Yahweh Shai Mashiach is come in the flesh is of God.
That's right. Now, again, you're dealing with somebody. Do they think that Christ never came? Do they think Christ is somehow a Caucasoid, so-called? You know what I'm saying? Do they know the true depiction of Christ? Do they know what Christ is all about? Keep going.
Verse 3. And every spirit that confesses not Yahweh Shai Mashiach has come in the flesh is not of God.
And every spirit that confesseth not that Jesus Christ is come in the flesh. Because a lot of people teach that Christ is of the spirit, right? Oh, Christ came in the spirit. I am Christ in the spirit. Oh, that's foolishness, man. Christ came in the flesh. He was a man. Keep going.
And
As are you. Understand this, man. You have the ability to achieve the things that Christ achieved, right? And what do I mean by that? You have the ability to be perfect. You have the ability to obey God. You have the ability to forgive your brothers and your sisters. And you have the ability to give your life for them as he did. Keep going.
And this is that spirit of Antichrist, whereof ye have heard that it should come, and even now already is it in the world.
That's right. The Antichrist is the Pope. The Antichrist are the so-called Jewish people that say Christ hasn't come once yet, right? It's your Jehovah's Witnesses. The Antichrist spirit is all those things. You know what I'm saying? Anything that teaches anything contrary to the doctrine that is in the Bible. Any words changed, anything rearranged, anything thought of and then described differently. That is all Antichrist. And it's already in the world. We get taught that Antichrist is this figure that's going to be sitting on this throne in some cave. No, Antichrist is in your office. Antichrist is your mechanic if he doesn't believe that. Antichrist are your parents if they don't believe. Antichrist are your kids if they don't believe. Antichrist is all that. Keep going.
Verse 4. Ye are of God.
Ye are of who?
Ye are of God.
That's right. We are of God. The blacks, Hispanics, and Native Indians. We are of God. Go ahead.
Little children.
That would be the us again. That's definitely describing the black, Hispanic, and Native Indian, not actual children, but the children of God, his chosen people. Go ahead.
And he have overcome them.
Salakia. And
He have overcome them.
yours says he?
Salakia, sir, and have overcome them.
Okay, no sweat, no sweat. Go ahead.
Because greater is he that is in you, that he that is in the world.
Right. Greater, because greater is he that is in you, meaning that spirit of Christ, the spirit of God, that contriteness, that spirit of forgiveness, that spirit of brotherhood, that spirit of love, that spirit of the commandments and obeying in you than he that is in the world, right? He that does what the world does, he that is not holy, that is not righteous, he that is wicked. Keep going.
Verse 5.
Mm-hmm.
Of the world. Therefore speak they of the world, and the world heareth them.
They are of the world. Therefore speak they of the world. They say what the world says. And what does the world say? The world says things that are contrary to the doctrine that we're learning in the ISUPK, contrary to the doctrine that we're learning as priests and officers, contrary to the doctrine that Christ spoke when he was here and Christ taught, contrary to the doctrine that the Lord gave us when he had the prophets write this Bible or write all the scriptures that comprise the Bible. Keep going.
Verse 6.
Mm-hmm.
Are of God. He that knoweth God heareth us. He not of God heareth not. Hereby know we the spirit of truth and the spirit of error.
That's right. We are of God. He that knoweth God heareth us. He that is not of God heareth not us. That's the world. That's any one of your family who bucks up against you once you start cleaning yourself. Think about this, man. You start cleaning your life up, man. You change yourself. You stop being such a piece of crap. You stop smoking. You stop drinking excessively. You know what I'm saying? You start to take care of your body. You start to pay attention to it. You know what I'm saying? You start to read your Bible. You start to treat your brothers better. And what does your family do? The ones who don't believe, they buck up against you, man. Your woman bucks up against you. Your kids buck up against you. Your sisters, your cousins, friends, people at work, they say, man, you've changed, man. You know why? Because you're no longer doing wicked things with them. And it shows. It's acutely different. It's contrary. We are of God. He that knoweth God heareth us. He that is not of God heareth not us. Hereby know we the spirit of truth. All those people, they're of the lie, man. They're of the lie that everything's okay, everything's gonna be all right. You know what I'm saying? You know what I'm saying? They think Christ is gonna come back and love everybody. You know what I'm saying? They don't know that they're going to die because they're doing the wrong thing. You know what I'm saying? And that's what it is, man. They're living a lie. But you come into the truth of things and the spirit of error. You know what I'm saying? That's what they're in, the spirit of error. Keep going, 7.
Verse 7. Beloved, let us love one another, for love is of God.
That's right. Beloved, let us love one another, for love is of God. If you are not loving your brother, and you can be a talebearer, you wanna talk crap. You know what I'm saying? You wanna find some reason to have strife and not realize that it could just be you. Maybe you're the problem. Maybe you're the issue. You know what I'm saying? Maybe it's you who need to check yourself internally. Maybe you need to say, how am I contributing to the issue I'm having? How am I contributing to my own thoughts? Because, and let's get that. Let's get that. So, like you. Let hold where you are, and let's get Jeremiah 17 and 9.
Okay, sir.
Read it when you got it.
The book of Jeremiah, chapter 17, verse 9.
Mhm.
The heart is deceitful above all things.
And what is the heart in the Bible? Do you know, Trooper Tamak?
The mind.
The mind. That's right. Right. The heart in the Bible is the mind. Go ahead.
And desperately wicked. Who can know it?
Right. The heart is deceitful above all things and desperately wicked. Who can know it? Listen, man, when you are thinking what you're thinking, sometimes you got to check yourself. You have to you have to always examine what you're thinking with reason. And that's where counsel comes in so handy. You know what I'm saying? Again, if you're in Connecticut, 203-548-0040. If you're in need of counseling, if your mind is deceitful above all things, call for counsel. Okay? Again, you don't have to go through anything alone. And sometimes it's how you think of something that holds you back from conquering it. Okay? If you're going through a problem, some kind of mishap, you made a bad decision, you know what I'm saying? Sometimes the solution is right there, but you might not see it because your mind is focused on other things. 203-548-0040, isupk.com if you're not in Connecticut and you're all over this world. isupk.com. Find the school nearest you. All right. The heart is deceitful above all things and desperately wicked. Who can know it? Go ahead. This is who can know it.
Verse 10. I,
Mhm.
Lord, search the heart.
I, the Lord, search the heart. The Most High is who's going to look in your mind. So whether you're thinking pure and good thoughts or you're a wicked bastard, the Lord knows and he's going to search your mind. Go ahead.
I try the reins.
Now
Even
think of a horse, right? Right? Your mind has you have a bit in your mouth and you have reins, right? Right? Go ahead. Read that again.
verse 10. I, the Lord, searcheth the heart.
Mhm.
try the reins, even
I try the reins. I pull back. I give slack for you to go faster, to move forward. I pull you back and stop you from what you're doing. Keep going.
even to give every man according to his ways and according to the fruit of his doings.
That's right. Even to give every man according to his ways. You'll get paid for what you weigh, for what you do. That's what's going to happen. If you're wicked, you're going to find wicked things happening around you, right? And if you're good, you might find good things. You might find, listen, a wicked man might find good things around him. Because again, the Lord knows your mind. The Lord made you. The Lord understands you. The Lord knows what you're capable of and what you're not capable of. It's you who has to make the right decisions. You're responsible, no matter what the Lord puts in front of you or allows to be put in front of you. You understand? Because remember, man, you're here for a purpose, right? You're here to solely serve the Most High. Anything that you do that is not serving the Most High is you failing to do what you're meant to do. Remember that. It's that simple. It's that simple, man. Because remember in Daniel, man, you have all these, the Lord's on his throne. He got them spiry wheels. And you got angels that just say, holy, 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 all day. That's what the Lord wants, man. He wants you to do the same thing, man. He wants you to worship him in mind and in deed. Even to give every man according to his ways and according to the fruit of his doings. That's anything you do should be in worship of the Most High, in honor of the Father, right? In obedience to what he says, regardless of how you feel, regardless of what evil thought pops into your mind, regardless of that. Salakia. Read 13.
The book of Jeremiah, chapter 17, verse 13. O Lord, the hope of Israel, all that
Hey, the hope of China,
the hope of Israel,
of the African,
the hope of Israel,
the hope of an American, African American, or a First Nationer,
of Israel.
the hope of Israel. That's who you're supposed to be, black man, Hispanic man, Native Indian man. The hope of Israel in your proper name. You understand? That's also a commandment, man. We got to come back to who we are. That's a commandment. It's not your choice, right? It's your choice when you do it, right? You're supposed to do it now, but it's your choice. You want to wait too long and have to suffer the consequences. That's on you. But if you're listening to my voice or any other class that's been given, once, twice, whatever the case is, you've heard it, and it's up to you. And listen, like me, if it resonates with you, like it resonated with me and any other brother that's in here, you know what I'm saying? Get in here. Don't waste your time. Don't waste your time trying to vet by participating. Now, if it's not for you after you participate, then so be it. He who hath an ear, let him hear. He who has eyes to see, let him see. If it's not for you, it's not for you. But don't spend your time wasting time. Read from the beginning and then keep going.
Book of Jeremiah, chapter 17, verse 13. O
Uh-huh.
the hope of Israel, all that forsake thee shall be ashamed, and they that depart from me shall be written in the earth.
Shall be written in the earth. You know what that means? You have those who are written in the earth and those who are written in the kingdom of heaven, right? Written in the Lord's book. You want to be written in the earth. You want to be ashamed. You want to depart from the Lord? Well, you'll be written in the earth. You know what I'm saying? If you want to forsake the Most High, forsake his laws, then you'll have the earth as your dominion. While the rest of the brothers and sisters who choose a higher calling will experience the kingdom of heaven. Keep going.
Because they have forsaken the Lord.
Because they have what?
Forsaken the Lord.
They have forsaken the Lord, man. That's like your child forsaking you. How sad would you be? How disappointing is it when you give your kid all of the tools to do better, to you know what I'm saying, to do better than you did, to do better than most do, and your kid chooses to be below average? How disappointing is that? Well, that's what you are to the Lord when you choose not to obey. You're that below average kid. You're that below average child who has the ability to do better, has the ability to be on top, but chooses to live under the bleachers, beg for food on the street, and do all the things that does not become a king, a prince, or a princess. Keep going.
The fountain of living waters.
Right. The Lord is the fountain of living waters, man. This Bible, the truth, is the fountain of living waters, man. Now read 14. This is what all of us should be saying. This is what every Black, Hispanic, and Native Indian, man, woman, and child should be saying at one point or another, hopefully soon.
Verse 14. Heal me, O Lord, and I shall be healed. Save me, and I shall be saved, for thou art my praise.
That's right. Heal me, O Lord, and I shall be healed. Save me, and I shall be saved, for thou art my praise. Keep going.
Verse 15.
Mhm.
Behold, they say unto me, where is the word of the Lord? Let it come now.
Keep going.
Verse 16. As for me, I have not hastened from being a pastor to follow thee.
Now let's listen to that. As for me, I have not hastened from being a pastor. That means you haven't run away from being a pastor, you've run towards it. You run towards being a priest of the Lord. You run towards the Bible, towards the truth, towards the ISUPK. Keep going.
From being a pastor to follow thee. Neither have I desired the woeful day.
The day of death, right? The day of judgment. Woe. Wait. Hold on. Let's get that too. Stay there though. I'm going to read it. I'm going to read it. Let's get that too. It's in Amos 5:18. I'm going to read it though. You stay where you are. Amos 5:18. Woe unto you that desire the day of the Lord. To what end is it for you? The day of the Lord is darkness and not light, as if a man did flee from a lion, and a bear met him, or went into the house and leaned his hand on the wall, and a serpent bit him. Shall not the Lord of Salakia, shall not the day of the Lord be darkness and not light, even very dark, and no brightness in it? That's what the day of the Lord is, man. The day of the Lord is going to be a day of reckoning for many. It's going to be a day of death for many because they have not kept up what the Lord said to keep up, man, which is what? These commandments, statutes, you know what I'm saying? Ordinances. They chose to slouch on it. They chose to do some and not do others. Well, guess what? You're going to pay the price. There's a price to pay. You're going to pay it. You know what I'm saying? Those Christians, man, those the ones that go and sin on a Saturday, sin on the Sabbath day, and ask forgiveness on the on the first day of the week. They're gonna taste that woeful day. You know what I'm saying? It's gonna be glorious for us who try their best to follow the commandments, but it's gonna be an ugly day for others. All right, go back to where you are and keep going.
I'm going to select it, sir. I'm going to start from the top of 16.
Come.
Verse 16. As for me, I have not hastened from being a pastor to follow thee, neither have I desired the woeful day.
Salakia, what chapter are we in again?
17 and 16, sir. Jeremiah.
Go ahead. Yep. Duana. Go ahead.
Have I desired that woeful day? Thou knowest that which came out of my lips was right before thee.
Yep.
Verse 17. Be not a terror unto me. Thou art my hope in the day of evil.
And that's us talking to the Lord, man. Don't be a terror unto me, Lord. You know what I'm saying? Don't be my terror. Be my hope. Keep going.
Verse 18. Let them be confounded that persecute me, but let not me be confounded. Let them be dismayed, but let not me be dismayed. Bring upon them the day of evil, and destroy them with double destruction.
Now imagine this. You got two Israelite men or two Israelite women. I'm gonna do men on men and woman to woman, right? Oh, let's or male to female, female to male. Suppose they're saying this prayer right here. Suppose they're saying this prayer. Be not a terror unto me, thou art my hope in the day of evil. Let them be confounded that persecute me. But let not me be confounded. Let them be dismayed, but let not me be dismayed. Bring upon them the day of evil, and destroy them with double destruction. Now imagine if you're saying this is a prayer. Imagine if you're saying this prayer and you have an evil brother or sister talking shite against you, right? Coming against you behind your back or to your face. Wouldn't that apply to you? Aren't you being dismayed by your anger, by your hate, by your spite? Don't you deserve that woeful day if you're doing such things? Let's think about that. Keep going.
Verse 19. Thus saith Salakia. Thus said the Lord.
Salakia, if I may. It says, bring upon them the day of evil. That day, the evildoers are who will suffer. And if you're partaking in evil, then you are an evildoer. If you are partaking in backbiting, tale-bearing, scoffing, spitefulness, unrighteousness, anything that is against what the Most High has said as to how you should treat your brother, how you should treat your sister, or those of your nation, your neighbors, you have brought that destruction upon yourself. And any strife you go through up until that point is caused mainly by you. Because you're not seeking righteousness. You're not trying to get on the good side of the Lord, man. You're showing the Lord what evil really looks like. All right, go ahead.
Verse 19.
Mm-hmm.
Thus said the Lord unto me,
Mm-hmm.
Go and stand in the gate of the children of the people, whereby the kings of Judah come in, and by the which they go out, and in all gates of Jerusalem.
That's right. The 12 gates, right? Keep going.
Verse 20. And say unto them, hear the word of the Lord,
Mhm.
ye kings and Judah, and all the inhabitants of Jerusalem that enter in by these.
Mhm.
Verse 21. Thus saith the Lord, take heed to yourselves.
Hold on. Let's stop there. Take heed to yourselves. Pay attention to yourselves, right? Be introspective to yourselves. Go ahead.
And bear no burden on the Sabbath day, nor bring it in by the gates of Jerusalem.
Mhm.
22. Neither carry forth a burden out of your house on the Sabbath day, neither do you any, but hallow ye the Sabbath day, as I commanded your fathers.
Keep going.
Verse 23. But they obeyed not, neither
Mhm.
their ear, but made the neck stiff, that they might not hear, nor receive instruction.
Right. And there it is right there. But they obeyed not, neither inclined their ear, but made their neck stiff. I'm not doing that. Man, screw that, man. Man, I'm over here, man. I'm going to do what I want to do. They obeyed not, neither inclined their ear, but made their neck stiff, that they might not hear nor receive instruction. What is the instruction? Be a brother, man. Be a brother. Love your brother as yourself. Don't you want to be forgiven by somebody? Don't you want to be heard when you say, I'm sorry? I messed up. I shouldn't have done that, man. I don't know what I was thinking. Or I do know what I was thinking. I was being a spiteful bastard and my fault for that. Don't you want to be heard? Well, you have to hear another brother when they say sorry. You have to hear what he or she says. And that includes your kids too, man. Many of us don't hear our kids when they say sorry, man, because we're so caught up in being that parent, right? Well, but we have to understand, man, we're raising a young man or a young woman. Many of us don't want to hear our family. Listen, and again, we have to be. Oh, let's get that too. Let's get that too. Salakia, bear with me. You hold that, and I'm going to get a verse. I'm going to get 2 Corinthians 5 and 20. Second Corinthians 5 and 20. Now then, we are ambassadors for Christ, as though God did beseech you by us. We pray you in Christ's stead, be ye reconciled to God. For he hath made him to be sin for us, who knew no sin, that we might be made the righteousness of God in him. Every one of us has to be an ambassador of Christ, man. We got to take up, as it says in Matthew, take up our cross to bear. You know what I'm saying? And remember in Luke, it says this too. Let's get Luke 19 and 27. And remember that it says this, because this is so important, man. Luke 19 and 27. If you want to do what you want to do, but those mine enemies, and this is what makes that individual an enemy, which would not that I should reign over them. That means do what the hell that Christ says to do, man. Live the way he said to live. Follow in his footsteps. Be the man or the woman that he wants us to be. That righteous man, that righteous woman, that good son or daughter that follows the parents, right? But those mine enemies, because that's what you are when you are a scoffful son of a gun, right? When you hate your brother, when you hate your sister, when you can't forgive those. And listen, you even have to forgive those in the world, because those are also your brothers and sisters. They're not saints yet, because what's a saint? A repentant spirit of an Israelite. They're not repentant yet, but you don't know when the Lord's going to talk to them. You don't know when the Lord's going to tap them on the shoulder and wake them up. It's not for you to decide. It's not for you to decide, man. The Lord may never choose them, but you still have to forgive them. You still have to work with them. You still have to show them what it's like to be an ambassador for Christ, man. But those mine enemies which would not that I should reign over them. Again, this is the word. These are the words of Christ, man, in red. Bring them hither and slay them before me. Man, let you be killed with all those heathens. Because that's what you're no different than them. You know what I'm saying? If you don't want to forgive, if you can't forgive, you don't have to forget, but you definitely got to forgive, man, and move forward, man. Move forward. If you can't do that, then you deserve the knife, the sword across your neck, just as the heathens will. You understand? And that's not the way it's meant to be. All of us are supposed to be saved, man. All of us. Every last one of us. Whether it be this lifetime, the next, or the lifetimes after that. But again, it's not your place to say when. It's not your place to pass judgment on your brother. You know what I'm saying? You pass judgment on the situation, you deal with the situation, and then you leave it amicably the best you can, man. And with the best resolution possible, or you seek counsel to do so. First, always first, going to him and him alone first. You know what I'm saying? All right, keep reading. Keep reading the Jeremiah.
Verse 24. And it shall come to pass, if ye diligently hearken unto me, saith the Lord, to bring in no burden through the gates of this city on the Sabbath day, but howl the Sabbath day, to do no work therein.
Oh, yeah, let's drop that. So, Lockie, let's drop that. Yeah, let's drop that. All right. Let's get Matthew 22 and 37. Matthew 22 and 37. Is my pen out there? Salaki. On the chair? I no sweat. I don't know where I put it. Matthew 22 and 37. Mm-hmm.
The book of Matthew, chapter 23, verse 37.
22 or 23?
Thou shalt love thy Lord thy God with all thy heart,
Mm-hmm.
and with all thy soul, and with all thy mind. Verse 38.
Salaki, you're kind of going in and out a little bit. Read that again for me.
Salakia. This is the book of Matthew 23, verse 37.
Salakia, 22, 37.
Salakia, sir. Chapter 22, verse 37.
All right, yes.
Yahushua said unto him, Thou shalt love thy Lord thy God with all thy heart,
Yep,
and all thy soul,
mm-hmm.
and with all thy mind. Verse 38. This is the first and great commandment.
Mm-hmm.
Verse 39. And the second is like unto it. Thou shalt love thy neighbor as thyself.
That's right. Keep going.
Verse 40. On these two commandments hang all the laws and the prophets.
That's right. On these two commandments hang all the law and the prophets. These are so important in our nation, man. Our nation became great because we have like the Most High, which is the only God, the greatest God, right? But also because we had love for one another that no other nation can achieve, man. We sought peace with one another at all times. That is unprecedented ethical and moral content, man. That shit is wonderful. And nobody else has that ability. You know what I'm saying? We have the ability as a people, as individuals, to actually be peaceful towards one another. Where this world wants to be violent and disgusting and wrathful and vengeful, we leave it to our God to take care of things for us, which allows us to just be at peace with one another. You know what I'm saying? Drop that and let's get Luke 10 and 27.
Okay. The book of Luke, chapter 10, verse 27.
Mm-hmm.
And he answering, thou shalt love thy Lord thy God with all thy heart, and with all thy strength, and with all thy and thy neighbor as thyself.
It talked about God. It talked about God. It talked about God. It talked about your neighbor. And he answering said, thou shalt love the Lord thy God with all thy heart, and with all thy soul, and with all thy strength, and with all thy mind, and thy neighbor as thyself. Keep reading.
Verse 28. Said unto him, thou hast answered right. This do, and thou shalt live.
Because you do the opposite, you're seeking death. You don't want to be brotherly, then you're a dead man walking. You understand? Don't be that. Don't be that. It's a choice. Don't be that. Now let's get John, the book of John, 13 and 34.
I know what kind, sir. The book of John, chapter 13, verse 34.
Salakia. Let's start at 33.
The book of John, chapter 13, verse. Little children,
Mm-hmm.
yet Salakia, yet a little while I am with you, ye shall seek me. And as I said unto the Jews, whither I go,
Mm-hmm.
you cannot come. So now I say to you, a new commandment I give unto you, that ye love one another as I have loved you.
Let's stop there for a second. A new commandment I give unto you, that ye love one another as I have loved you. He gave an example. Love one another like you saw me loving y'all. Right? As you saw me deal with you with each of you, and you ask questions redundantly, because that's what a lot of disciples were doing. They were asking questions like, and Christ was like, "Oh, you still don't understand?" You know what I'm saying? You know? But Christ had patience. He loved his brothers, man, and he had patience for them. Many of us make excuses not to be patient, man. You got to be patient. The same patience you would give your own children. Give that to your brother. Whatever acute way that you are patient, whether it be to your parents, to your kids, to strangers. Some people are more patient with strangers for some reason. I don't know. Who can call it? You know what I'm saying? That level that is superhuman, give that to your brother. Give that to your sister. Give that to your wife who's not in the truth, to your husband who's not in the truth, to your kids who aren't in the truth. And again, why? Because you must be an ambassador for Christ. You got to show them why it's so grandiose to be in here, why it's so lovely to be in the truth and not in the world anymore, man. They'll look at you and say, damn, I want to be like that. That brother used to go off at the handle. And look at how he treats me, man. He don't even treat me bad no more. You could move somebody to coming into the truth if you do that. You could move many into and become the ultimate fisherman if you just learn. And I'm going to go back to the last series of classes, that contrite spirit, man. To feel regret when you come at somebody hard, when you come at somebody wrong, when you come at somebody without patience. To feel regret, remorse, and to say, I can't do that. I got to be better. And then to go out and do it. The fruit of your doings, like we read before, the fruit of your doings. You know what I'm saying? Any questions, Trooper Tamak?
La, sir.
All right. I'm going to end it there. All right. And we're going to take this up. We ended at John 13.
34, sir.
And 34. That's right. So we got a whole lot of scriptures left. So we got about 30 scriptures. So we're going to keep going with this because this is very important for us to build a nation. You know what I'm saying? And to come back to the law, statutes, and commandments like we should in brotherhood, in sisterhood, because that's synonymous, right? To come back in love of one another. And that's what we should be doing, man. That's the thing that's that gleam that we've lost, that shininess that we've lost. We've lost that love for one another, man. Listen, there should be no homeless amongst us. There should be nobody hungry. Listen, I drive around the streets of Hartford, West Hartford, Farmington, Avon, and all I see are Edomites standing on the little islands on the off ramps of highways, talking about God bless. I'm hungry. We'll work for food. Can you help me? Anything is good. Nah, man, that should never be us. You know what I'm saying? As this kingdom falls, I hope to see more of that. And I hope to never see a brother out there, never to see a sister out there from my nation. You know what I'm saying? Because if so, you know what I'll do? I'll help them out, man. I'll tell them to get in the car. Let's go get something to eat. You hungry? Let's go get something to eat. Because I'll do that. I'll ask him, hey, what tribe you from? Oh, I don't know what you mean. Well, you a Black American? Like what are you? And I'll talk to him about the truth, man. And I'll be that ambassador for Christ. That's what we should be doing, man. And let's continue to do that. Let's start doing it, those who don't, and let's continue. All right? But until then, until tomorrow, I am Priest and Officer Gabar Math, ISUPK, Connecticut. The water, the brother, Trooper Tamak. Good reading, sir. All right. ISUPK, Connecticut. We are ISUPK, started out of 1 West, 125th Street, Harlem, New York, under Commanding General Yohana. Since 1969, we've been teaching the so-called Blacks, Hispanics, Native Indians, the Negro, Latino, Latina, Indigenous American, American Indian, their true culture and heritage, according to the Bible, true history and archaeology, that we are the 12 tribes of Israel, and our oppressor is the devil, which means deceiver, the Bible speaks of. Until tomorrow, shalom.